Roberto, what was the most unexpected thing you found out about your dad through the making of this documentary?
You know, I think that it was more of the confirmation that he lived the way that he lived. Because I remember, being in the car with him and him stopping his car, seeing children playing. He would stop and get out of the car and go play with them. And hearing more people telling the same type of stories of what he did and stopping and interacting with them. That's who he was. For me, it was more of a confirmation than anything else.
What do you each admire most about Roberto Sr.?
But for me, understanding the
Mm.
struggles when it came to the racial situations, and I mean he could have been a very bitter man with all the things that he went through in the beginning of his career. But the way he handled, the way he really took it upon himself to really take responsibility in making sure that he demanded respect and show empathy and understanding that all these people were in many ways ignorant on who he was as a human being. They saw this black Puerto Rican coming in into town, for example, and they didn't know how to place him. They didn't know how to react to him. So being able to show who he was as a human being, we're still talking about him today because the type of man he was.
Man, such a good question. I think just, I think the biggest thing is just the just looking for ways to help. Not waiting for something to be dropped in your lap, but just, if you see someone that you can impact in a positive way, it can be a small thing. Like the film has all these moments of just small moments of connection that to Roberto may not have been anything, but they truly change these people's lives. And I just feel like we need to live our lives just trying to have our eyes open for, like, is there something I can do today? Can I do one act of kindness today? Something. I find that really inspiring. Because we all talk about, when we talk about Roberto Clemente, we talk about how he died trying to take aid to the victims of the 72 Nicaraguan earthquake. But like, it's all the stories that lead up to that that make that story so impactful to me, that it wasn't just a one-time act. It wasn't just a fluke, but he truly lived his life that way. And had he not died, we probably wouldn't have heard all these stories. They probably would have just been lost to history. And so anyway, I think that's what it is for me, for sure.
What is the most distinct thing you each remember about your first baseball game? Attending one, not necessarily
Yeah.
playing in one.
Oh, well, I mean, my first, the most early memory I have of baseball is, my parents signed me up for T-ball, when I was like 5 or 6. And, I went up to the plate, I got a hit. And as I'm running to first, I see my mom and dad eating a bag of potato chips, and so I make a beeline to grab a handful of potato chips on the way to first. And I think that was when it became very clear that I was not meant to be a baseball player, but probably meant to like make documentaries about baseball. So that's my earliest memory, is seeing first base, but then seeing potato chips and being like, I think the chips are looking a little more better, a little better.
Well, I can tell you for me, in terms of if I can remember, I could go back to like my first baseball game experience, for example, Forbes Field, the old Forbes Field. It was the smell. It was a unique smell. That place had a very unique smell. But
Was it
um,
like a musty smell, or
it
I
was,
mean, it was so
yeah, it was
old?
like it was a whole, you have beer with popcorn. I mean, it was all,
Oh, I
Yeah,
love the stale. The stale
yeah,
is
yeah,
the
it? You bottle
staleness.
that up. Bottle it
yeah.
up.
So, but the one thing that I remember the most is actually mom would get to the ballpark always like second or third inning, always late.
Yeah.
And the fans, like the whole section, would stand up, and we would be walking down the aisle. But then I would sit there, and my brother would be sitting next to me. And in fourth field, there was a clown that wore roller skates. He was skating around with metal skates, and it was concrete uh, ground, the cement floors. So the sound of the metal rollers were very, very loud. My brother hated clowns.
Who doesn't? What
Every time I
kid
heard the
doesn't?
Your
sound,
brother's
I knew.
correct. Yeah.
So the sound was actually, so for me, I always enjoyed, not because of what would happen, but he had a nervous stomach. He hated clowns, so he would kind of throw up every time. And I laugh about it. But those were my memories.
And now when you're with your brother, you put on metal roller skates and
I just
skate
messed
around.
with
Every birthday is clown themed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great. I've never heard that, Roberto. We've got a lot of times that I've not heard about the clown at Ford
Yes.
Field. Oh, that's funny.
Ford Field was amazing. Yeah, but I mean, just remembering everyone getting up for us to walk
Would
down the seats.
they'd stand up like your
With
mom
mom,
was
yeah,
born
but
with
Yeah,
you?
so they all knew who you were. They were like,
that's
"Please
so
come this
cool.
way. There's a clown waiting for you."
Yeah.